everybody, I'm Tesla and Michael Brenner for Drop Top Tees. This is my son Tim, who's going to be helping me out. And this is my other son, twin of Tim, Ben, our cameraman. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're stuck at home due to the coronavirus. Had a couple parts come in for the car. So today we're going to be putting on a PTP Turbo Blanket. And in a couple days, because forecast to rain the next 2 days, we're also going to be putting on a Euro compulsion before cold air intake. So why do you want to put on a turbo blanket? Any idea? Okay, never mind. You're going to wish you paid attention in high school physics by the time I'm done with this. Because remember when you sat there asking your friend, laughing, why do I ever need this again? Here's why. There's three basic things this turbo blanket will do for your engine. It's not going to add a whole lot of horsepower, but it does improve performance, and it also helps protect things around the turbo. Okay, there's two parts to a turbo. Here's the turbo, and as you can see, we already have the turbo blanket on. I didn't like the introduction I recorded before I did it, so we're starting over. We have 2 more bolts left to put on because that's where we ended up when I realized that we couldn't finish it yesterday. So we're going to show you I'm going to tell you about the turbo blanket. We'll put on the last 2 bolts, and hopefully we can edit that into something that somewhat makes sense. You'll notice our clothes and stuff may be different because we didn't wear the same clothes 2 days in a row. At least I didn't. I don't know if my sons did. There's a hot side of the turbo, cold side of the turbo. The turbo blanket deals mostly with the hot side. It does have a little effect on the cold side, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the main thing the turbo blanket does is it improves heat retention in the turbo. Not as much with the turbo blanket on your car, not as much heat escapes to the side and around it, because the turbo blanket covers it better than the minimal heat shield that it comes with from the factory. So what that does, because it keeps more heat in, it keeps the air inside the turbo hotter. And what that does, because it's an enclosed space and it's hotter, it increases the pressure, which is what basically really causes the turbo to kick in. You need that boost. So when you tromp on the accelerator, you're used to getting a little turbo lag, and that's the time it takes from when you stomp on the accelerator till when it spins up to 2,500, 3,000 RPMs and the whole turbo, all the torque and everything kicks in. That reduces that amount of time by a bit. Because when the air is already hotter, the pressure is already higher, you reach the peak operating boost in the turbo faster. So you have a more responsive acceleration as you continue to run up through the gears. It just helps you out as far as smoothness of acceleration. But the big thing is reducing that initial turbo lag. The other thing it does, besides keeping the hot air hotter, it helps keep the cool side a little cooler, because it's keeping more heat over there, not as much can escape up to here. And that's important because as you bring air in, you want it to be cold. Again, the colder it is, the more dense it is, the more dense it is, the more oxygen you can have in it. Once again, you're helping. Everything the engine does is more efficient when it has colder, denser air flowing into it. And since this helps keep this operating temperature down a little cooler, not operating, but the intake temperature down a little cooler, it helps improve engine efficiency. Final thing it does, and if you track your car, if you plan on tracking your car, if you plan on going to an event with a bunch of buddies and running your car hard up and down a twisty road all day, like say you're going to Tail of the Dragon and you're going to Twisted 2020 or something like that, and you're going to abuse your car a little bit for a long time, this gets very hot. By keeping the heat in here, and I've seen people already talk about this online in the forums, when they run their car, especially SCCA or something like that, where they're tracking it for a long time, the heat, if it's stopped, can start messing with, this is a hose off the O2 sensor. It'll mess with this, and there's other hoses, there's other things down in here that the excessive heat can damage over time. So this minimizes that and makes it more safe to actually run your car a little hard. Okay, so with that, we're going to just switch, and this is like cut. So the first thing we have to do, first of all, let's look at what we're going to need. I'm using a pass-through wrench. It's a 10 millimeter that we have to use for one thing. And I will show you that in a second. Just trust me, you need this. You can do this with power tools. I'm doing it this way to show you how inexpensive this all can be. I have this in case I have to use the factory supplies bolts. I don't know if I'm going to need yet or not. This is a, I think a 4 millimeter. And then we have a 10 millimeter, the infamous missing 10 millimeter that's always gone out of everybody's toolkit. You're gonna need one if you want to do this. And also a 12. Not so infamous because 12s aren't used as much. 10s are used for everything, so you're always missing. And then a ratchet, okay? So the first thing we have to do is take off this little plastic engine cover. You don't really need to take it all the way off. There's just 3 pegs that hold it on. You can see the 3 holes. Peg 1, peg 2, peg 3. And they just lift them off. Set that to the side, you won't be needing it. Now, here's what we need the pass-through for. Thank you. You can't get to, there's 3 bolts holding on the metal heat shield, and you can't get this one with a normal socket. So, once again, you can pretty much completely do this with the exception of 1 bolt if you have a drill. And makes it a little quicker, but I'm just showing you that you can do the complete thing without using the power tool. So it's going to add a little bit, a couple minutes to it, but not bad. These are 10s, I believe. Now, these are 12s. These are 12 millimeters. Am I right? And there's just 3 of these. Great.
Oh, that one fell.
Yeah.
Oh, are they the locking ones? I hate those types of nuts.
Okay, this one is a 10. Or the bracket. Now we have to take off the heat shrink. And that is, I'll show you here. Okay, this one is the 12. Here's the actual heat shield we're going to take off. And you can see this only covers part of the turbo and doesn't go down. It just covers a portion of the turbo. And you'll see the difference in coverage when we put the blanket on. The blanket covers a lot more of the turbo, so therefore the blanket itself is much more effective than this heat shield is, just because it covers more. This is why they went the other one. Because these bolts aren't very long. We're doing all the easy ones. There's only one that's a little difficult to get to. It's not even bad. Oops. What you doing?
Looking for the nut.
Now, Ben, come over here so you can show this. There's one down on the side down there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch to a smaller one. This one, I'm gonna switch to a tiny one.
Oh, it's right down there.
Right there. Move there.
Alright.
Movement.
So,
Yeah, because I need to get down in there.
you need to get that.
They can see where they're going to. This one may be joining its friend when I get to the end.
It's hard for my big old stubby fingers to get down in there.
Would you like some help?
Depths of the engine.
No, not really. I know where it went to.
And there it goes.
Ta-da! Now, thankfully, they put a little slot right here, so you don't really have to remove the oxygen sensor. It just slides through here and wraps around it, which makes this installation much more easy than it could be. This tucks in here
Oh, that tucks in.
and bolts down here and here. Now this is why you need the factory supplied screws. So we are going to use them because the other ones are long enough. Here's why. See the difference in length? This won't make it through the turbo blanket. Now you don't have to.
Oh.
You don't have to.
I'm recording.
Tell me putting them in. I have to get them all lined up right first.
There are deep sockets right here.
Are there? Yeah, but I'd rather use my pass-throughs. And then that one down here in the bottom. That one's gonna be the bad.
There it is.
Excuse me.
Right there.
You have to kind of look behind it to see it. Unless you're really good with estimating, which apparently I'm not.
Right.
So once we get all these tightened down, then we just have to put on the bracket over top.
And
Now you know why I'm a weather forecaster, not a mechanic. I would have lost too many of the tools. Seems like it'd be tighter on that. Okay. Now let's get that little bit. Now what we have to do, this goes here, this goes here, and we need that big old bolt with the pass through. Where's the pass through? Here it is.
I was going through it and fell on the ground.
Laying on the ground down.
It's not, they're not on the ground. I have no idea where they would be, other than in the engine.
And then we're back right away. It's just through the magic of TV. And we're going to finish off with the last two nuts we have to put on. I went ahead and put this back on after I put the previous nut on, and now we're going to tighten this down. And then there you go. You're worried I'm going to drop it, huh?
You did the last
Yeah, I know I did. Hey,
Wrench.
let's try to drop that.
wrench.
Oh, you want to wrench it?
Yeah.
And I'll add in, because I don't know if I said this yesterday, but I don't know how much of the stuff we did yesterday I'm going to keep. Hopefully I won't be redundant. One thing PTP and some other people who make them caution you about, actually two things. The first is there's a break-in period for this turbo blanket. It's still going to work right off the bat, but in this case it's a lava blanket because of what's in it. For the first couple days after you install it, you may notice a weird odor from your engine. I don't know if the PT blanket will do it, but I know one of their competitors will tell you that you get like a white powder on the inside of your car. And we ran it to work and back today. I don't really see any in here, but I know with some other competing products, you can get like a white residue. It doesn't harm your car at all. But a day or two after you put it on, run your car, and then just take a soft damp cloth and just wipe it down, get rid of it. You won't ever see it again. Same thing with the odor after a couple days of running the engine. You're not going to smell it anymore. And that brings back one last warning. And if you pick it up and handle it, if you order one, you'll see it has very thin, like metal mesh of wire. There are some of those that can poke out while you handle them. So if you're adverse to getting poked by a little piece of metal, it won't break off or anything, but it can poke your skin and everything. You may want to wear some shop gloves or something like that if you want to avoid that. I didn't have any issues with it, but there were times where I could feel the metal pricking my skin. It just never, I was careful not to let it poke too deep. So just something to be aware of. As I said, I'm not a professional mechanic by any means. I'm a weather forecaster, so I'm liking what we see, except for doing mods on my car because it's going to rain. I won't be able to do them. But even me with not that much experience, we could do this easily in under half an hour, probably a little longer right now. We didn't use an impact driver or anything like that. We just used hand tools, and it was simple. So this is another thing where it's easy to do. It does help the performance of your car, helps protect your engine if you're going to run your car hard, and not hard to do, so anybody can do it. Don't be scared of it.